Welcome to the Spinfoil Theory Podcast. Each week we sit down and discuss our favorite lore topics from within the Destiny universe. Specifically, we intend to take a close look at a specific question that has been nagging us and potentially the Destiny community as a whole. To fulfill that, our discussions tend to assume that you already have some background in the Destiny lore. Despite that, our goal is to be as lighthearted and welcoming to everyone as possible. With that out of the way, let's dive into this week's topic.
Alright. Yeah, no, welcome everyone to the show this week. I think you're gonna have a fun one. You had a couple weeks of special episodes there. I realized we did a couple specials in a row, Bagels, and there might be people like, hey guys, like the specials are cool. I like hearing you talk. But I just really need you to arbitrarily score things. If you could just put numbers in front of units that mean absolutely nothing, that's where I'd like it to be. So that's why I called you here tonight, Bagels. I think we got to do a more standard Spinfoil again. That's what I've called this meeting.
You can't handle the numbers.
It's a dire situation. But yeah, and so this week's topic is one that I think is still fun, just because it's pretty topical. It's one we kind of came up with listening to idle dialogue in the new release, the Beyond Light, right now on Europa. And so the theory is House Light on the farm? Is that where Mithrax is headquartered? This was a recent social space that we lost with the expansion. And we find out through some of the Empire hunts, I think specifically, it's not the Technocrat, but it's like Kirlix or something like that. It doesn't matter. It's the part where you're helping the Vex, not the Vex, you're helping the Fallen flee, and then like the Fallen of House Salvation have trapped them in this like tractor beam. It's very like Star Wars. Like, fuck, we're in a tractor beam. Like, fuck yeah, you are. You're going nowhere. Like you thought you could have your ship, and it's really funny because they're perfectly triangulated from the ship, and the ship's just like in the air. So it's like they could have avoided this whole trap if they just hadn't flown in that one spot. You think, or maybe it's like it traps them at a different thing, and then it just pulls them to the center because that's how it's easiest on all three at the same time. Like, I don't know. It was trapped before we got there. It's really not fair. Maybe there's more than just those three tractor beam guys. But like those are the three they needed for when they spotted it finally. That's I don't know. That's a different Spinfoil, everyone.
Indeed.
But we learned in that part of the Empire hunt that they're actually going back to Earth. The Fallen that Verix is sending to Mithrax in House Light, and it's really interesting. He's called Verix the Loyal. He's changed sides 4 different times now, 5 different times now. I don't think he's loyal. Oh boy. That's just me. And everyone says, no, he's loyal to the Elixni. Like, he's loyal to the Elixni that he chooses. Putting that out there. It is not a blanket statement. He is loyal to his ideal of Elixni. I gotta stress that. Because, like, honestly, like, he could feel differently than he does, and then we would all, like, kind of unilaterally hate him, or he would probably just have kept working with Aramis. But that's neither here nor there. And then, if you hang out in front of Verix, some of the idle dialogue that he has, like if you're just like hanging out in front of him, not in your menus or something, he goes, "Do you know Tyra Karn, Guardian? She's very clever. When Verix knows, you will know." Which is really interesting because when blank knows, you'll know is a running theme in this DLC. Like I think 3 or 4 different characters say that to us at one point or another.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
I hadn't really considered that, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So that's another like
kind of like the Anthem Anna theme there, just kind of popping up in a few different spots.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So Verix, who's sending people to Earth, and then Mithrax. Where's the last place we saw Mithrax, Bagels?
The farm.
It was the farm, and all right, maybe technically, where the last place we saw him is at the end of 0 Hour, where he shows up like tuxedo mask after we kill the boss, like flurls his cape and like says "You're welcome" before he disappears. I'm pretty sure he's warping back to the farm at that point, where we meet him. And it's really cool. There's some lore entries that kind of. Where he's talking with his fire team before he goes to the farm, like, you know, to meet up with us before we start 0 Hour. He's like all nervous. He's like, oh man, they used to hang out there. And I think even in the lore, they're like, yeah, they're not really there anymore. You can go to the farm. You'll be fine. It's just Tyra. She's cool. So this theory like hinges on those points. Varix is sending Elixni to the farm. Varix has idle dialogue about Tyrakarn, and the last place that we were able to, interact as players with Mithrax was at the farm. And so it's those 3 points are really like the 3 strongest arguments of this theory. And I gotta say, I really like it because if we look at where they can go, like, okay, Earth is not swallowed up by the darkness right now. Right. The farm is within shot of a shard of the Traveler still, because the Traveler's bottom part is still like a little busted open. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to say that shard might still be there, because that was a pretty fucking huge shard.
I would tend to agree.
Just putting that's I mean I guess it's like theory within theory at that point, which is never a good leg to stand on, but like just for purposes of argument. So I think it would protect them from the darkness, at least in so much that the Traveler is on Earth. So I mean it makes more sense that they'll be going back into the inner system than back out to where the darkness is coming from, this invading army. And so yeah, I think it's got a lot of legs, and it's, I mean, what's really like I think clever about it is it doesn't rely on a lot of logic to work. No, not at all. It's just like, yeah, well, what about this?
And in fact, we know that Osiris put Saint on a mission to negotiate with House Light, as was revealed in that as one of the Bungie lore entries on the web. I can't remember which one in particular.
Do you think we'll have a Saint Mithrax slashy? And by slashy, I don't mean romantic slashy in this sense, everyone. It can just be like a... No, this is also bad. I was gonna say a double team like Marvel used to run, but I feel like that's also gonna get that same crowd like, ooh yeah. I'm just like, okay.
Oh my god.
But that crowd is great. I'm just trying to like manage expectations of where I'm going with this. Just maybe we'll have like a team up where they both go smash stuff. God damn it! I keep
you just keep setting him up, man.
I know. You know what, Bagels? I'm just gonna pass the mic to you, man. I need a timeout.
But yeah, seriously, what would be most convenient for communications, setting up communications between the Fallen and humanity, or the Guardians at the very least? It would certainly, being on Earth is the most direct means to set up that communications relay between the two races. And certainly we want to, if they are who we think they are, if Mithrax is actually a force of good, and this sect of Fallen is actually turning out to be an ally, then we would want to do everything in our power to ally with them. I would make an argument for it. We can't forget about what the Fallen have done over the years, for sure. But if the Fallen aren't inherently evil, and I think most of the Guardians would probably recognize that. And so, what better place than to welcome them to a section of the EDZ, being the farm, essentially, and give them a spot of their own in order to become more comfortable, and at the very least, it would allow us to keep an eye on them as well. So even if we don't fully trust them yet, we can spy on them is probably the wrong terminology, but I think that's basically what it would involve at that point. The closer eye we can keep on them, we can maybe bridge a little bit of that trust eventually too. That being the Guardians being able to trust the Fallen, and the Fallen being able to trust the Guardians. So all of this lends a lot of credence to this. Where else would it be convenient for this sect of Fallen to go to be able to essentially develop that link with us? So
I actually. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, good. You're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's a really good point. And I believe that the Fallen in the EDZ are not House Devils. They're the remnants of the amalgamated house that Aldrin put together in Forsaken, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because they still have the purple sash, like they still have his colors. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So if Aramis is going to Old Russia to recruit what's left of House Devils, I think it would be really smart if I were trying to help out House Light for me to say, hey, why don't you get like this united now scattered house? Why don't you get like these guys? They might not all want to join, but like it's not like they have leadership you have to deal with either.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like, go for it. That's. I think that's another reason. And then you have Devram, you have Tyra, you have like a little bit of infrastructure for them too. And like honestly, this could give some opportunity for Hawthorne to not just sit there and say you never quit, do you?
I don't think she'll ever get any new voice lines at this point, but.
Well, she has. I think she's piped in. Isn't she on dialogue in A New Strike? Like, or new since D2 Vanilla.
It's possible.
I thought she was, but that might just be me.
I don't. I was under the impression she hadn't had any new dialogue since D2 launched. But I could be wrong about that.
I believe it. I accept that truth. I could be conflating not reality with reality. But, no. Which happens to the best of us, you know.
Maybe it's just your will to have Hawthorne have additional lines that has brought it to reality.
Maybe that's just like my opinion, man.
But yeah, there's so much here that actually lends itself to this theory extremely well, and you hit on a lot of excellent points.
Oh, thank you.
Particularly that idle dialogue about Tyra Karn. That why else would Varric say that? He has to have some sort of connection there.
Yeah, like what other? I can't think of any other place in the lore where they would have interacted.
And we had discussed this a little bit ahead of time, and I was like, no, they weren't on the reef together at any point that I can recall. And so it's like this really in itself right there is like, what's that connection between Varric and Tyra? And I can't really think of anything else just off the top of my head.
I can't come up with. I mean, maybe tangentially, you could, if you wanted to get incredibly Spinfoily, you could. Well, no, because Tyra worked with the Iron Lords. You might say maybe there was some communication between her and the Queen at some point, and therefore Varric. I think that's one hell of a stretch if you want to go some route like that.
Yeah.
But that's me spinning that foil to like it's just as far as it could possibly go. Like it is tinsel thin at this point, like to get there, and I am doing some mental gymnastics to make that work. But like honestly, and you know, I realize a lot of time on this show I pull a Hickham's dictum. Which is, if for those of you who don't know, Hickham's dictum means that something can be as complicated as it damn well pleases, because that's life sometimes.
Right.
And it's that you can't take averages and apply it to everything and expect success. Like it's about managing expectations and about just saying like, no, like fuck what it should be. This is what it is. But and that's I'm usually doing that and countering to this point Occam's razor. Sometimes the simplest answer is the best one. And this one just like you don't have to do any
stretching whatsoever.
Yeah, like I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, oh, Varix is asking about Tyra. Where's the last place I saw Tyra? The farm. Hey, you know who else I saw at the farm recently? Mithrax. Oh shit, you're sending them all to Earth? What's on Earth? The farm. I mean, unless you want to come up with something really kick-ass, like they're all going to old Chicago because they hate the farm. Like, I don't know. Like, I have no reason to think that, but I'm here for it. Like, I really want.
No,
Go see the Fallen take on a deep dish.
Jeez.
A Fallen Chicago-style hot dog.
No, I'm just digging this for a multitude of reasons, and I'm even struggling trying to come up with like a good counter to where they would go, because it almost has to be Earth. I don't know where else in the system they would go.
Well,
even
they
if
say it's Earth.
I'm just saying, just as like a counter for if it's like a way station to go via Earth somewhere else. If that's the case, where else would they go in the system? And there's not a whole lot of options left. I guess Venus could potentially be an option if they were to bring that back at some point. But we don't know anything about Venus at this point. It seems pretty unlikely to me. The moon's pretty much out of the equation. Obviously, we've got a whole bunch of eclipse planets and Nessus.
Ghosts on the moon.
Yeah, but so I'm. It's a bit of a stretch to say it's anywhere but Earth. And so we've got the EDZ and we've got the Cosmodrome are the locations that we're particularly familiar with. And the EDZ certainly lends itself a lot easier to to occupation by a friendly force.
Well, one thing that actually makes me wonder is what is the actual position of the planets while this is happening? Because, you know, obviously Mercury is the closest one to the sun. And as far as I know, Mercury, Mars would be the other inner planet that was sort of like absorbed. They're like the wave of darkness in the cutscene. So I'm wondering like how that can happen, but like we're not, or maybe it's just like this rotating bubble of light that the traveler creates, and we just happen to be at the center of it. And so planets will come in and out of that.
Potentially.
That's just the only thing that makes sense in my noodle right now. I don't mean to derail us, but I'm just like, you know, come to think of it, the planet closest to the sun is also absorbed by the darkness. Right? It's not just the outer. Well, well, I mean Mars too, but you know what I mean. It's not just like I think it's an outer direction.
Just directly where the pyramid ships went, because obviously they didn't go to Nessus, they didn't go to Earth, they didn't go to the moon. They didn't go to any
well, why do they have to go to the moon? They're already on the moon. They're in the moon. They are the moon.
Although we still don't know a whole lot about that ship, if it's fully active or anything like that. And I will say that it's multiple ships at those other planets as well.
I still have on deck. Did we do a show about it? I think we did. But I still have on deck a revisit to the moon is Crota's war moon. Or Luna was Crota's war moon, or Luna is what becomes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that proto-planet.
But yeah, no, I'm just trying to come up with some sort of other location that we know of in the lore that Mithrax could find himself at.
It'd have to be places we haven't actually gone to yet.
Exactly. I guess it could be the Fellwinter Peak too as an option. I don't know what's going on with that at this point.
Could be there. But, I guess that's an option too. I mean, if we connect all the same dots, I guess the only thing missing is we've never seen Mithrax there before. But I mean, honestly, in a lot of ways, that might make more sense because it's a lot more defensible.
That's the only real point I have for Fellwinter's Peak. So
it's also cold as fuck up there, though.
I don't think the Fallen really care about that too much.
Oh no! I actually just mean I think the only people who could live on the peak, like where we went to go, were Guardians, because you would die of the cold.
More than likely,
getting up there, like because even in the lore, I think everyone else is at like the base of it.
Yep, absolutely.
So that might make that a little less hospitable.
True.
In that regard.
And honestly, humanity and the Guardians might be against them occupying Felwinter's Peak with how defensible it is.
I mean,
if we ever had to invade them, that would not be ideal.
I mean, I don't know. It's like defensible in the sense that it's a mountain, and obviously, like, for whatever reason, Rasputin can or won't put a put a satellite there.
It is fortified. We know that.
It is, yeah. And we still run Crucible in it, so it's not as nice as it used to be.
It's true. There's a few holes in the wall. Just patch them up. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's fine. Was that explosion there last time? What? Yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Get you had so many years out of this place. Yeah. I guess there's no reason to. There's reasons I can come up with, but there's no reason to, like, lore wise that I can say. Because fucking Fallen are apparently, like, live forever, or at least, like, incredibly long time. Yeah, can you believe these guys, like, they've been chasing the Traveler for generations? Like, I thought. But no, it's just been the same fucking Fallen, apparently, just the whole time. That left the planet from the whirlwind, like...
Consuming ether makes you live forever. I don't know why humanity hasn't started doing this yet, but apparently we need to get on board.
So maybe it's like like those jellyfish or crustaceans that, like, if they're left alone, they'll just and they can, like, eat. They'll just keep getting bigger and live forever.
I mean, it's not far off.
Yeah,
basically what they do.
So really, they're not even, like, insects. They're like space lobsters.
Need to get the B-52s back for space lobsters.
Space lobster. Oh man, any friend of the show who's good with drawing doodles, please draw that for us. I will put it up and give you so much credit. You don't even know. You'll be like, I didn't think I could get this much credit, but here we are. And that'll be your life. Everyone will know who sees what. Everyone who sees what I do will know. But yeah, so yeah, I actually think this might be, like, the simplest, most solid theory, and it's so, like, it's. I feel like it's the only thing keeping it from a theory is actually knowing specifically where they go. If, like, Varric sends us there to talk to Mithrax, I feel like, or like something like that. I feel like that's the only thing stopping it. Otherwise, I think this might be, like, the most solid, like, Spinfoil we've reviewed.
I tend to agree.
Which is really saying something. We've had a lot of fun ones, but, like, this is just so... It's like... You know, in anime, when there's, like, all the flashy martial arts guy, and then it's the guy doing, like, the hardcore karate who wins? This is like a hardcore, like, karate. It's like, it's not flashy, it's just, it hurts. Like, also fans of 80s karate lore, you know, it's a Miyagi style as opposed to the flashier Cobra Kai.
Oh boy.
Well, no, they know.
I know. Everybody knows.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Leonardo versus Michelangelo. But yeah, so, like, honestly, like, I don't think this is one that I don't think we'd even have to turn up to 11. I feel like it's just like you start the stove, and it's into ignition.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's just ready to take off, ready for Bungie to lead us there, basically.
Now, I can't really come up with a lot of reasons why this can't happen. I don't really have to do a lot to turn this up. And this kind of puts us at an interesting place in the show, because I feel like this is where we usually go off on the rails.
Right?
And we're like start talking about like, oh, this, that, the other. I will say, I would be really jazzed if, because all Cryptarchs are awoken that I'm aware of. Right.
Put a pin in that.
I mean, if there is one that's not, I guess would not be aware of it. But that's.
I feel like there isn't one. I can't remember off. I remember there's one.
The three that we've met have all been awoken.
There's a few other Cryptarchs that are spelled out in the lore, and I feel like one of them isn't at the very least. But I'd have to go back to my research.
I'm really giggling about it because I know that I'm wrong. Technically, there's the little kiosk the Drifter made.
Oh. Oh my.
Oh man. Okay. Well, Tyra's an awoken. She is not a guardian, so she's still like, I imagine, unless she's one of the Return to Earth, like completely exiled. I believe she would still possibly have some ties to the Queen. Potentially, anyway. I think that would be a cool revisit.
I feel like Tyra Karn is a guardian. I feel like that's spelled. She lost her light and
to what?
In the Red War. Let me.
I don't think she's ever had a ghost. I guess that's another one. I don't think any of the Cryptarchs have been guardians.
I might have to review that one. I feel like she lost her light in the Red War, and then went to the farm.
Stayed on the farm, after she got it back.
Like, she's still a Cryptarch. Don't get me wrong, but I need to go back and look at that.
All right. Well, for sake of argument, then.
Yeah.
We can asterisk this for later. for sake of argument, then, if they're all awoken, I think that there's a great potential to revisit an awoken fallen. Or I guess in this case, we gotta start calling House Light Elixni and stop being. We've been told that it's offensive, guys. I'm not even saying that as a joke. Like, I guess in that they're like a fictional thing, but like, you know, like to quote Eddie Murphy pretending to be a Jewish guy and coming to America. A man deserves to be called his name. Like, it says that's what he's called. That's what you call him. Like, okay.
Yeah. There's a item right from Base Destiny 2. Tyra Karn. It's just the name of this, whatever it is. It's an item. Tyra, another guardian who has lost her connection to the light, has a warning about the shard from your vision. What? So it specifically states that she's a guardian there.
Tyra Karn. Let me see. Is that on Ishtar?
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't want to derail the show.
Here, Tyra Karn. I think this is a bit from Hawthorne. Tyra escaped the city and found refuge in the camp as well. She too lost her connection to the light and learned you had a vision of the shard. Tyra cautions you against the danger of the surrounding dark forest and your newfound mortality. Take this gift from Tyra and go talk to a reluctant leader of this camp, Soraya Hawthorne.
Well, But it doesn't say she's a guardian.
It does say she lost her light.
Connection to the light.
Maybe.
Well, it's not to parse words. I'm just like I'm just putting this out there.
Sure.
Because if you look at her grimoire card in D1, it doesn't say that she is a guardian, and her card doesn't have a ghost. So if she lost her light as a guardian in D2, like, wouldn't she have a ghost?
Here's the Dreamer's Cloak. Without light to sustain it, this body of mine cannot make the pilgrimage to the shard, but you can. Again, it doesn't specifically state.
Yeah. And Tyra was the keeper of, and she helped found the Cryptarch Order. So,
I don't know. I'm certainly lends credence to her being a
sorting through recovered artifacts, documents, and ghost discovery. So it sounds like in that whole time she was working with like what was or eventually became the Ghost Network as well. Yeah, that could go. Let's add that one to the list. Scribe. Oh, you're allowed to have a shot of. We sent Bagels some cherry mead that is called Scribe that we saw at a meadery in Virginia, in the U.S. And that was it was called Scribe, and we immediately thought he must have it. So.
I concur. I must also have it.
So you can have shots of it when every time we say the meme till it goes, and we send you another one.
I'm going to be at work and you're going to say, Scribe, God damn it.
I'm going to send you, I'm going to like record me just shouting Scribe and just send that to you. I'll like set it up in different ways. You'd be like, what is this link? And it's actually just, Scribe!
Oh, dear God. The new Rickroll.
Everyone, if you want to trick Bagels into looking at stuff that shouts or says Scribe so that he has to drink, write to us at the Spinfoil Theory Podcast. You can add us. We got to figure out your secret Twitter.
It's super serial.
I'm gonna go look at if there is someone at Super Serial and just see if like that's what you got. I don't know. There is a Super Serial. Let's see if it's Bagels. Ooh, I don't think so, unless you've had a Twitter this whole time. It joined in 2008.
Ooh, wow, it's an old one.
And they haven't done anything in 2 years, tweet-wise. They have 11 followers.
Seems like the most underused Twitter that I've heard of recently.
Yeah. I don't know how many tweets they've done total, but it's not a lot. And they didn't even do anything. The first tweet's 2011. Bagels, you need to acquire this tweeter. If you would like to help fund Bagels acquiring this Twitter, oh my God. Please write to the Spinfoil Theory Podcast at gmail.com. Right. We'll figure this out together. I just want to put this out. I'm not asking for anyone's money, but let's figure this out. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking for. I will never ask for your money, not for us. But
oh my.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. All right, that's a new team mission. We have everyone. We're taking this theory was so solid that we had time to discover this rabbit hole of looking up Tyra Karn into figuring out Bagels' Tweeter.
Tweeter makes it sound dirtier than it should be.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's not. I'm gonna say that's on you for thinking it's dirty. don't put your inference on me.
Elon, you working, Bobby?
No. I said perfectly non-dirty words. Oh man, Bagels, how about you? What lengths would you have to go to turn this up? Would you even need to start the fire, or like has it been burning since the world's been turning?
Okay, Billy Joel.
Yes, thank you. Don't sue us, please. Not that we make money, so he's got no damages, but still, like, I don't want it.
No, it seems to me like this is all just sitting there for the taking, basically. I mean, I can imagine maybe a couple other places, but I have to imagine that it's on Earth somewhere. at the very least, and I have to imagine that it's probably somewhere that the Guardians have previously made safe, because I'm sure that that's where the House Life would want to be.
And fans, I just really want to stress how kind Bagels is being to this theory, because we don't have to like imagine it. He says they're going to Earth.
Yeah,
like it's that's how solid this shit is. Like they say it very flatly in the game. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bagels.
No, you're good, man. I'm just trying to stretch out any sort of like argument against this, and realistically, the farm or Felwinter Peak makes sense. The farm makes more sense. Just it's we know where Mithrax knows where it is.
It doesn't have any guardians on it. Like doing Crucible stuff and other shit.
It entirely makes sense why we got kicked out too. We want to make the Fallen feel welcome. We don't throw a whole bunch of guardians to the same location as them. So, yeah, if they come around and say this is why the farm was no longer usable as a social space, because House Light's there,
or if it's even because, like, honestly, if it was there once, I don't see why we wouldn't. I don't know if it'd be a social space, but I don't see why we wouldn't get to go back at some point for like a walk around. Like we got to walk around the city to watch the Traveler, like, you know. Become a magical girl.
And yeah, it could be usable in quests and missions. It makes a whole lot of sense that Bungie would bring it back for quests in the future. That's about the only reason that they probably took it out of the game, so they can use it again for some sort of justification.
Bagels, I think this is we were damn near. This is. And I really want to stress this, everyone. It's just so solid because it's almost a fact. It's just not yet, technically.
But Bungie can always pull a 360 no-scope on us and say, nope, you're wrong.
Well, that's what's great about this, though, is this will release before the next update, so they can't... like, we record in this perfect wedge of time that they can't...
All the evidence is pointing here. Bungie, nope.
Psych! You got you fucker. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this this DLC. I've really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that they've had, you know, tangentially on the side, and I just like that there's stuff that they don't outright say, that if you just do the right combination of things in the right order, like we just happen to hear this shit in the right order, to like fully, I think, connect the dot. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think, to see how this plays out, because I've really enjoyed how they've handled lore this season, how much of it there is, not just this season, but in this DLC, I think is a more fair statement. And I really like where it's going. Like there's been so many cool things, just like different characters and like different cool stuff you can do. So like yeah, I'm really jazzed, about this, to see where this goes and what it means for the possibility of, like, you know, I know a lot of people want to play as an Elixni. Like, what does that mean? Do you get a fourth character slot? Like, I don't, like, which class are you going to give up if there's a fourth option and you still only have 3 character slots, Bags?
Easily Warlock. Warlock's gone away.
Easily your Warlock? I think I would get rid of my Titan. And it's not that they're bad. I get wrecked by Titans all the time, everyone. Like, I'm not talking shit, but I am shit. The most shit with the Titan. And maybe it's me, but like, and also I think I'll say, like, the only 2 Warlock classes, I think otherwise I would have been like you, Bagels. The only 2 Warlock classes I really like are the Emperor Palpatine, the Electro Stormbringer, and I kind of dig the Ice one. Even after they nerfed it, I'm still like, all right, I wish, like, you know, that's kind of dumb. Your like wizard ball doesn't go very far, but like, okay, like it's whatever. Like, I'll take it.
You are still a space wizard when you wield the staff, so
dude,
it's pretty cool. I'll grant that.
That's what I'm saying. And then you can get You can get Cloud Strike and have like a lightning wizard staff too, and then you're some kind of like dual wizard.
Yeah, it's like you're cross-classing a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. No, you definitely. Well, I mean, you the synergy of your spell book is just really doing well here because you're gonna freeze them, then you're gonna lightning strike them. That's just gonna spread the lightning, but it's just. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, so I've really enjoyed that. I think for me the Titan would get the axe. I enjoyed the one with the super's the big hammer, but like the neutral of that one where you have like the little throwy hammer. It's the most huntery of the Titan classes for sure. It's like, and obviously that's what I gravitated towards, but that's what I would have to give up, I think, and those would be my reasons. I feel like Warlock is just a little more. I was able to do it on all three. I had the toughest time running the Spark back in Taken King with Titan.
Fair enough.
So
yeah,
that's what I've got.
I would have a hard time giving up the new Titan slidey ability on Stasis. Oh my god, I love that so much.
I haven't figured that out. Bagels, can you Sherpa me through Slidey Boy?
Yeah, Slidey Boy. So
I want a Slidey Boy. I want to do that. Maybe that's why it's not connected with me. And then, sorry, Warlock, you've got because it's not like
on that. Warlock's gone. That's all.
I mean, there's some, and I know there's some people out there who's like, but Taylor, like, what if there's people who would just keep all three and not get Elixir? I mean, like, okay, I'm sure they exist.
Yeah,
but
few and far between. But
I mean, I feel like we all got one we would ask to try something new. Though. I don't think there's anyone who would be like, no, I paid for this, but I don't want to use it. I don't know. I know it's in the game, but that's fine. I don't want that content. Okay, I think we've metaphorically stretched this one out as far as we can. as far as we're getting with this, like, it's a really fun one, but it's just so fucking solid. Like, I can't.
Yeah, just not a whole lot of counter argument to this one. So.
Yeah, it's just like. Yeah, I've said it enough. I don't need to keep saying it. Bagels, what do you have for a final score, my man?
I'm going to give us a solid 100. 100 Fellwinters. That's what I'm giving it.
100? He gave it 100. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it 1987 non-heinouses in honor of Bill and Ted. Of positive plausibility. That the I said non enough times that it was good then. It was good again. So yeah. I give it that many. Yeah, I think it's really solid. I think honestly, if we had waited to do this, it might have already come true. That's how closely I would say that. Yeah. So with that, I might have to tease about this ahead of time just so we don't get scooped by the game. But
Bungie announces with the drop. Oh yeah, the farm's coming back on Friday.
But yeah, okay. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Sir, you got any shout outs, my man?
I just kind of want to give a general shout out this time. Just got to be with a little bit of close family on Thanksgiving, and so I haven't had an opportunity to do that a whole lot recently. Stay away because I've still been going into work some and not being exposed to a whole lot of people, but at the same time, don't want to expose family if you don't have to, even if it's a very minor risk. So I want to give a shout out to my family that I hadn't seen a whole lot of recently, and enjoyed their company over the weekend, and got to play with new puppy, so that was a lot of fun. It was a little bit of a biter, but
well, yeah, he's got little toofs. The toofs are still new. and he's got to chew to like figure him out. He's a baby. Bagels, you're just saying it's rough because you're made of bread.
That's true. I'm very tasty, so I can't really blame him for trying to bite me. So it is what it is. I've accepted this.
Oh well, I mirror Bagel shout out to his family, but it's creepier when I do it because we've never met. I want to give one. So there was some sort of recent things we figured out with characters in game. And there was some cool, like, there's some very brave public figures in real life who had headlines this week about it. So I just want to revisit my just want to give my shout out as Trans Lives Matter. I want to put that back in there. Micah Abrams was found out to have a connection with I think it was like Micah 10 was the exoform, and using male pronouns as Micah Abrams and then female pronouns as Micah 10. Just a lot of stuff that came out in game, and just sudden representation with that, and Elliot Page out there in real life. So yeah, I'm just gonna throw out the Trans Lives Matter. Yeah, because they didn't stop mattering since the last time I said it. And they didn't start because I said it either. But I'm just stating facts. But yeah, so that's where I'm going with this week. Trans Lives Matter. That's my shout out. With that, everyone, be safe out there. If you got to see your loved ones to our American audience this last holiday, and you were able to do it safely, that's pretty lucky. I hope you're able to enjoy that. For everyone else, I know it may have been tough not being able to spend direct time with family like you're used to, but I hope you know that you made the safe and right decision because you care about them. So continue to stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's the end of this week's topic, but be sure to check out our past and future episodes on Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. If you have any questions about this week's topic, want to discuss Destiny lore with us, or if you just feel like reaching out to us, you can find us on Twitter at Spinfoil Theory, or you can email us via spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
The Lore Network.
Nothing.
That's right. First time I heard of governor school, the thing for acting, I thought they were all going down to, like, be politicians, but, like, at that specific level, like, is what they were training for. And I, like, never understood till, like, a couple years later that it was for acting and shit. And I was like, I don't really understand why all the theater kids are going to learn to be a governor, but, like, good for them. I guess. No, I don't want to sign up, theater kids. Like, I have no interest in government.
Oh my god.
It's great for you, but like I'm okay. No thank you.
Oh my god. Ugh.